You're watching USA, America's all-entertainment network.
Yeah, Detective Stone here. Oh, hi, Chris. How you doing? Look, did you get to the video disco this morning? So what have we got? Hamlin hired a new bartender, huh? How very interesting. Our anonymous source, who was supposed to tell us everything he knew about Robbie, failed to keep his appointment. I wonder if there could be a connection.
Marty, it's Cliff. Just checking in. How's it going?
Oh, moving right along.
Wow. Any new information about Hext yet?
Not yet. I'm snowed in with other things. You are needed here, boss. The workload's piling up.
Well, I'll be in later.
Okay, I'll see you then.
Bye.
Oh, come on, man. You're not getting jinxed, too.
All right, it says here if a private investigator is involved in a divorce action...
That's too depressing. Ask me another question.
All right. Data mates. Yeah, hi. Any luck? Were you able to track down Alicia? She was seen in Venice. How long ago was that? A month. Since then? Not since then. No. Well, I really appreciate your effort. Thanks very much. Yeah, bye. You heard.
She probably ran off with a gondolier.
No. That was about the last source I could think of tracking her down. I mean, this guy was a wonderful business associate, but as far as tracking down missing persons, he's a dud.
We have nothing but dead ends. We can't even prove that Louis Van Dyne is the limping man, even though we know he is.
And Alicia is like T.S. Eliot's Macavity. You can feel her presence, but when you look, she's gone.
We can't hang on much longer, kid. Data mate's failing, you know. Oh, we get our complaint calls now.
Well, you can't blame them. I mean, everybody has dated everybody else, and nobody has made a hit.
What are we gonna do? We're broke, you know. As a matter of fact, the rent's due for this place and the other office.
I don't know, Raven. There are times when I just feel like giving up. How about you?
Mr. Hext, Crane, your worries about the Whitneys are over.
Tim Parker's wife had another baby, a boy. Old Tim was so excited he went screaming out of the squad room right in the middle of booking a drunken disorderly. Then the drunk starts singing Melancholy Baby in about 4 different keys. I think it must have taken us an hour to calm him down.
How's Mitzi?
She's fine. You know, Mitzi would really like to come and see you.
No.
Jody's left the play, you know. Personal reasons. Hey, you remember when we first started dating, there was this movie that we went to see, Wind Chimes.
I remember.
Yeah, well, The girl who was the star of the movie took over Jodie's part in the play. Shelley something or other. Anyway, Gavin says the box office is really picking up. Of course, Mitzi was a little miffed that she didn't get to play Elvira. But, you know, she and Cliff are doing great. We have dinner at the Rock Garden a lot.
The Rock Garden?
Yeah. You remember that time when Cliff tried to get us back together?
Cliff reserved a table for us at the Rock Garden, and then he told you that I wanted to see you, and then he told me that you wanted to see me.
That's right.
Cliff. Cliff.
You know, things with the detective squad are...
All he wanted was for us to be happy.
Calvin! Morning.
Oh, hi, Cliff.
How is Dee Dee doing today?
She's better. She's much better. And what's even better than that is Dr. Carell thinks so, too.
That's great.
Where the hell have you been keeping yourself? Come to think of it, I've been trying to catch up with you for several days.
Oh, I've been keeping a low profile.
Oh, well, you're safe with me, Cliff.
Have you been able to check out my apartment?
Yeah, I did. And as a matter of fact, I've got a couple of squad cars making the rounds in the neighborhood.
Well, what'd you find?
Not a thing. No green vans or nothing else that's at all suspicious.
I was sure I was being followed.
Look, I'm sorry I didn't come up with more. My guys just drew blanks.
What about Mayhew's suicide note?
Well, all I can tell you about that is that the chief did interrogate Hext and one of his security guys, a guy named Craig Crane.
And?
Well, there's nothing much to learn from it. As a matter of fact, they weren't at all evasive. They were extremely cooperative. It's hard to believe that they are actually hiding something.
There's only some way to figure out how Hext was able to retype the note so that the typeface would match the typewriter in Mayhew's office. That would prove he's guilty.
If you can come up with that magic trick, you just let me know.
Oh, Calvin.
Dr. Carell, how are you? This is Cliff Nelson, Dee Dee's law partner.
Oh, hello. I dropped by to see you the other day, but you weren't there.
Oh.
He's been keeping a low profile.
Oh, well, Dee Dee's ready to see you.
Good. Thanks. Look, I'll talk to you later. Look, keep in closer touch, will you?
Sure thing, Calvin. Dr. Carell, can I talk to you?
Yes, you may. I've been wanting to talk to you, too.
I'd like to discuss this theory I have on contagious paranoia. I think I've got a touch of it.
Have you?
Yes, in my office. It's this feeling that I'm being watched. Like there's a subtle awareness that there's something wrong. There's an unseen presence there in the room, even though you know you're alone. So you laugh it off and you go back to work. And in a few minutes, it's there again. You can feel a pair of eyes boring into the back of your head. So you try to keep yourself from looking around, but you can't help it. So you look. Nothing. And then a chill up the back of your neck. Your heart starts to pound. I'm gonna go work at my own desk.
Calvin, do you resent the fact that I make more money than you do?
Dee Dee.
That's what I told Dr. Carell.
Look, maybe we ought to discuss something else.
No, I'd like a straight answer. You look very uncomfortable.
I am.
Then I guess I must be right.
Look, I told myself that if you ever got out of here, I was never, ever going to lie to you again, so I'm not about to start now.
Good idea.
Okay, the truth is, yes, I have felt twinges of jealousy, I guess, but they're not about you, and they're not about your personal success. I guess it's just, somewhere inside, I guess I feel like I should be doing better than I am.
I think everybody feels that way at some time or other.
Yeah, well, you see, what I'm trying to do is balance that against the satisfaction that I get from my job. You know, the pleasure that I take in knowing that I actually help people.
I think somebody once said, it's not how far you've come, but how much you've enjoyed the trip.
Yeah, it's like, it's not how much money you make, but what you make of the job.
You really love being a cop, don't you?
Yeah, I guess I really, really do. You believe me?
Thank you for telling me the truth. It makes me feel a lot better.
It's an interesting idea, Mr. Nelson, but paranoia isn't catching.
Yeah.
If it were, in the times we live in, we'd all have it.
I know it sounds strange. You probably think I'm crazy, but I'm not.
No, I know you're not. I can tell these things.
Of course, you could tell these things. Isn't there some sort of emotional disease, though, that can be caught by a large number of people at the same time? Like mass hysteria. Isn't that sort of contagious?
Mass hysteria manifests itself in large groups and sudden swells of emotion, which manipulate people into certain responses.
Like at political rallies or rock concerts.
Yes, exactly. But what you're talking about is a mental aberration that's transmitted from one person to another like a virus.
Right.
Yes, well, there's no such disease as you describe.
That's what everyone else has been telling me.
Well, don't look so disappointed.
There has to be some explanation for what's going on in this town.
Of course, if there were such a disease as you've described, it would be exactly what's wrong with Dee Dee.
What? What'd you say?
I want to thank you, Mr. Nelson. You've given me, well, I've been looking at this thing from the wrong angle.
Wait a minute. What do you mean? You need to explain what you meant.
All right, this really is a much nicer room than the first place they had you in.
I thought I was dangerous. That place was more like a prison cell than a hospital room.
Believe me, it was much worse than a prison cell. I mean, I didn't know they actually still had places like that anymore.
You know what, Kelvin? People should not be forced to live in places like that.
I know.
Then why doesn't somebody do something?
Dee Dee, you know, things just get kicked under the rug. I mean, reform is like a fad, you know? I mean, the newspapers print stories and people get shocked and the politicians demand answers and I don't know, I guess something positive happens somewhere along the way, but then that energy sort of fades and it gets replaced by something else in the headlines and there always ends up being just a whole lot of work that just doesn't get done.
Well, it's not enough.
You're really very serious about this, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And when I get out of here, I'm going to do something to help stir people up again. And I am going to get out of here.
Of course you are.
Hello. Thought I'd drop in again to say hello to my favorite patient.
You know, we were just plotting to rid the world of rooms like the one downstairs.
What do you think of the idea, Dr. Carell?
I think it's a marvelous idea.
Well, I've got to get out of here first.
When, Dr. Carell?
Not yet, but soon.
Look, Dee Dee, I gotta take off.
Bye, Kelvin.
I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Hang in there, baby.
Well, what are you looking at me like that for?
Dee Dee, I'd like to ask you something.
What?
Do you think you're ill?
No, of course I don't think I'm ill. I'm not. Then again, I guess I must be, huh? Dr. Carell, could you help me, please?
Of course I will, Dee Dee. I promise.
So, Mr. Farley, you're a butcher, huh?
That's right.
What an interesting job that must be. Raven, I think we're gonna need another tape, dear. You have one there?
Why bother?
So that we can tape Mr. Farley here.
Look, I'm very sorry, Mr. Farley, but the truth is, I'm afraid that we're not going to be able to find you a date.
Now, Raven, you're going to make Mr. Farley think that you think there's something wrong with him.
Is there something wrong with me?
Well, there's something wrong with everybody, Mr. Farley.
Mr. Farley, just a moment. I'll have all this ready to go. Just a minute.
Skylar, they're probably going to turn off the electricity before we even start, and you know we're not going to be able to find this guy a date.
Now, Raven, you're not being fair to Mr. Farley here.
I can't take much more of this.
Yeah, almost ready. Almost ready, Mr. Farley.
I don't want any dates.
Why? What's wrong now?
Because you two have made me too depressed.
That's because we are depressed.
Now, what the hell did you have to go and do that for?
Because I am sick and tired of us having to hide the fact that we're poor. And I'm also tired of the fact that we have to run around and pretend to be something we're not.
I am too.
I wonder if you have these problems, Isis.
Well, it's a little late to find out now.
Oh, which reminds me. I got a new one of these. Will you help me put this up?
Yeah. Well, that's great. We've now got more signs than we've got satisfied customers.
Yeah, there you go.
Feel better now?
Yeah, I just thought of something.
What?
Why is it that we're always more depressed in this office than we are anyplace else?
Sure, I'm glad to see you, man. Well, I'm touched. Besides the pleasure of my company, why?
Listen, I felt it today for the first time. You know, like somebody else is in the room.
Welcome to the club.
It's weird. But the feeling went away when I started working at my own desk.
This is happening too often to be a coincidence. Dr. Miles and Dr. Carell, and I think they're beginning to listen to me.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're beginning to see things my way.
Well, after today, I'm convinced.
Now all I have to do is find some convincing evidence.
Come on, honey, we gotta snap out of this.
How? Everything seems to be turning against us all at once.
It only seems that way, honey. Come on, remember, you're only as good as you think you are, and power of positive thinking, stuff like that.
Remember the Alamo.
Remember that. I'm tired of sitting around and feeling sorry for myself. I'm gonna do something. I'm ready if you are.
For what?
To take the state exam for private investigators, that's what.
It'll be elementary, my dear Watson.
Mitzi, how are things at the theater? Oh, good, good. Well, no, I've got a lot of work to do at the office. Mitzi, I'm still being followed, so I'm not going to come to the theater to pick you up. Have somebody drive you home.
They've covered our camera again. Yes, sir, I'll fix it right away.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, we'll be there. Thank you.
What's wrong? We're all set up for the exam, right?
Yeah, but we can't take it until November.
November? Why do we have to wait so long?
It seems like everybody in the state wants to be a private investigator.
We're gonna start by November.
Oh, come on now. Remember the Alamo.
An enchilada would help.
Well, that's a bunch.
No beans for you.
No beans. Well, we'll see. Reagan, I told you you shouldn't leave your purse in the office.
There's nothing in it worth stealing anyway.
47 grand.
You're all done.
Expectant mothers. And it's the return of rat basketball as those amazing rodent rockets take on new competition. Now stay tuned for FYI as Hal Linden explains a health risk women can avoid. Then watch General Hospital where Roberts gets an ultimatum and Holly's life is the price. Next.
Many women stopped using tampons because of their associated risk with toxic shock syndrome. If you're one of them, you probably think you're safe. But surprisingly, if you use a diaphragm, there may also be a risk. A recent study found that women who wear diaphragms for 24 hours or more are also at risk of developing toxic shock syndrome. Leaving the diaphragm in that long allows the bacteria that produces TSS to grow. So for contraceptive safety, keep the diaphragm in place for 6 to 8 hours. Then remove it without delay, and you'll be protected and healthy.
Thursday.
We're on a roll. Hotel fire. Multiple entries.
Trapped in a blazing inferno.
Where are you going? Are you crazy? Get up there!
And the trauma team is their only hope.
6! Don't give up now!
Trauma Center, Thursday.
Hawkeye and Trapper enter a contest to win a pony, while Father Mulcahy becomes a rabbi for a while to perform a special ceremony on MASH at 10:30. Larry Moore and Brenda Williams, today at 5.
This isn't just another commercial. You should listen to this. See, I'm not just any kid. I'm a kid that's tasted the difference. Because this isn't just any snack. It's nacho cheese Doritos. And it's not just nacho cheese. It's 3 kinds of cheese. And it's not just 3 kinds of cheese. It's corn, tomato, onion, and spices. And it's not just corn, tomato, onion, and spices. It's delicious. And it's not just delicious. It's the greatest. Because it's not just any snack. It's Doritos brand. And I'm not just out of Doritos. I'm out of time.
Friday, Matt Houston heads for Mexico to beat a murder rap.
Whatever happened to the class of '73? On tonight's PM Magazine, find out what happens when you meet your high school classmates 10 years later.
The men have changed a lot. They used to be boys.
Then go on a manhunt. Find out where all the single men are. Get a behind-the-scenes look at a hot new primetime soap. Take a look at ballet on skis and meet a real-life Ozarks blacksmith on PM Magazine at 6:30 tonight on Channel 9.
It's that time again. Time for the Kmart Colorful White Sale. You'll find big once-a-year savings on almost every item in the department. Thirsty terry cloth towels, soft, colorful knitting yarns, warm quilts and comforters, dish and washcloths in a bouquet of colors, plush area rugs, and much, much more. Check your newspaper for other fabulous bargains during the big Kmart White Sale at Kmart.
Kmart.